we have two polynomials. One is a binomial, meaning it has two terms, like the word bilingual, speaking two languages. And then we have a trinomial, meaning it has three different terms, like the word three. And we're going to be multiplying these two polynomials. And the way we multiply it is we use a distributive property. And what that is we're going to distribute this 10x with that 12, this 10x with that negative 7x squared, and this 10x with that 8 squared. And then once we've got that, we're going to multiply this negative 4 by that 12, that negative 4 by that negative 7x squared, and then that negative 4 by that 8 squared. So let's go ahead and start. And we could literally just cross multiply and then write down our answer. But because we want to see this visually, we're just going to write down 10x multiplied by all of this. So let's write that out. Let's start by writing 10x multiplied by, I'm going to write down the whole entire trinomial, 8 squared. And the first thing we can see is that this 8 squared can be simplified. What's 8 squared? If we know our multiplication tables, we know that this is going to be 64. So let's cancel this one out. Let's write in 64. Great. Okay, now let's multiply. What is 10x multiplied by 12? Well, 10 multiplied by 12 is 120. Add the x, we're going to have 120x. So 120x. Okay. Now 10x multiplied by negative 7x squared. So first let's multiply the numbers, and we're going to get negative 70. So let's write in negative 70. And we have the x's, right? And you might say, hey, well, I see an x, and here I see an x squared. How do we do that? How do we combine these two? And really, all we need to understand is that this x, you might say it doesn't have an exponent. But in reality, it does have an exponent. It has an exponent of 1. Why? Because when you multiply any number by 1, the original number stays the same. So in essence, this, let's say x equals 4. This would be 4 to the first power, which is just 4 times 1. This would be 4 to the second power, which is 4 times 4. So what we do from here is we combine the x bases. So we'd have x, and then we add the exponents. 1 plus 2 equals 3. So we have x to the third power. All right. Now let's go 10x multiplied by 64. And 10x multiplied by 64 is going to be 640x. So plus 640x. All right, great. Now we've successfully multiplied 10x by this trinomial, and now we need to multiply negative 4 by this trinomial as well. So let's go ahead and do that. Let me scroll down a little bit, and I'm just going to rewrite this exact same thing. I'm going to go negative 4 multiplied by, and I'm going to rewrite that trinomial. So negative 4 multiplied by, I'm going to write down that trinomial, 12 minus 7x squared plus, and we can just write in 64 instead of writing in the that blue thing. So instead of writing 8 squared, so 64. So let's go ahead and multiply this. What is negative 4 multiplied by 12? That's going to be negative 48. So negative 48. Okay. Now, what is negative 4 multiplied by negative 7? When you multiply two negatives by each other, you get a positive. So we're going to have positive 28. So plus 28. And that's going to be x squared. Let me scroll down a little bit. X squared. Why? Because we're adding this x squared right here. And then negative 4 multiplied by 64. Let me pull out my calculator, and I encourage you to work this problem out with me as well. Negative 4 multiplied by 64. So minus 256. 256. So now we have officially and successfully multiplied this binomial by this trinomial. And our first answer is this right over here, and our second answer is this right over here. Now we're going to see, hey, can I combine these two together? And actually, we very much can, and we can simplify it as well. So just for sake of time, let me just grab this real quick, and let's put it down here. Now let's make it in that 10x color. And then we're going to grab this right over here, our answer, put it right here. Excellent. Okay, so now we see, hey, can we simplify this answer any further? Because this is our answer. We combine the 10x multiplied by our trinomial, and then our negative 4x multiplied by our trinomial, and here we have our answer. So we see, hey, can we simplify this any further? And I see some x's that can be added together, and then we have some just plain numbers that can also be subtracted. So let's go ahead and try simplifying this further. And let's start with the x's. So we have 120x, and then we have plus 640x, which would be 760. Let's write that in. 760x. And then I see a negative 70x to the third power, and I don't see any other place where we have x to the third power, so we cannot combine those. So let's put negative 70x to the third. Let's just drop that and put negative 70x to the third. Okay, where else can we combine numbers? We have negative 48 minus 256. So let me highlight that so you can see it better. Negative 48 minus 256. And again, I encourage you to get your calculators and work this out with me. 256. I just put negative 48 minus 256, and we get negative 304. So write in negative 304. And then we drop this number down, and we would have 28x to the second. And we have officially simplified everything. Now we have our answer. 760x minus 70x to the third power minus 304 plus 28x squared. I need to include that plus when we drop down this number. So plus 28x squared. Very well. Now we have our answer. This is our answer for 10x minus 4 times 12 minus 7x squared plus 8 squared. This is our answer, and I hope this video was helpful. Remember, stay positive.